We back with full auto mod B. Fitting I have Jake in my lobby as we're fighting a mech this time, but still no mod A. Of course, I have two teams for you guys, my budget and my invested team. My budget team will consist of farmable units and the units available to new players through the selectors. So let's go ahead and check them out. Alright, so we're going to start this off with turning our 2x off so that we do the maximum amount of damage that we can. 2x does lower your DPS while you're doing these kinds of runs. So now that we got Titan and Linjian on the field, we have all of our DP gains that we want. Linjian's going to sit there and ulti, giving us more units to sit there and come out. And then of course we have Yang giving us shields and skill haste, though that really only helps on Sorum and Linjian, and for the most part Sky when she does get her skill off. Plus she also gives us a nice attack buff. Now the way I have it set up, S1 from Enterprise and Sky are going to pretty much happen at the same time during the burst phase. Even though we have this wonderful Linjian ulti, we do want that DP. But yeah, so now the boss has been shredded down to 0% evasion, and because Titan actually has a defense break if something gets close, we get it at that added bonus. Now everybody who didn't die obviously gets to live here, and then we get some extra units coming in. But of course Titan, because of his passive, is just going to sit there and stay alive and pound on the boss from behind, which hitting the boss from behind does extra damage, so good for him. Now, as you can see here, Titan and Jane are your top DPSs, so you want to put your best gear on them. For this team, we're running Enterprise as the ship. Its S1 will shred the evasion of the boss along with Sky. We have Kim Hana with roll advantage, which is slightly helpful here for our strikers, but we're really just after that +1 DP. We're going to be running Titan. Now, Titan, you're going to want your best mech gear that you can afford to put on him. You want as much anti-ranger and anti-ground damage as you can fit. Attack with his EE is probably good. Attack anti-ranger will probably be his best setup. You can also sit there and use volcano gear if it has anti-mech. Do not roll for this. Do not make it unless for some reason you just want to be a DC main all of a sudden. Sword fighters, we're just going to go with a tanky build, throwing as much anti-ground res as possible. HP is going to be the best setup, but you can get away with attack speed this season. Just depends on your mods. Now, Linjian, we're going to be running our free-to-play CDR set on her with 67% skill haste. We want her getting our units out as quick as possible. On Sorum, we just kind of throw whatever with her EE as long as it has anti-ranger and damage. You can use Rivet instead. I'm just using her because she has an ulti and she's a ranger and helps with the Kim Hana proc. Now, Yang, we want the second free-to-play set that we get for CDR, or our best CDR set that we can afford, because we want her spamming shields since we can't heal anybody, but we can protect them with the shields to avoid mines. Tarask, I just have on my usual HP or anti-ground res set, HP. Depending on your mods, you can sit there and adjust this, but truthfully, I just go tank on him always. Now, Sky, I'm using a spirit set. Seems with 12% skill haste and this setup, and my TUs, depending, can sit there. Her ulti with the S1 should sit there and line up pretty well at the end, regardless of your TUs. You may have to sit there and give her just a little bit more haste, but other than that, 12% seems to be just fine, so Spirit is what she's using. Now, Jane Doe, she's one of our best soldier DPSs that we can use, even for the short time that she's out, so you want to throw whatever you can for your best gear on her. Now, Anti-Ranger is obviously the stat you want to sit there and stack, along with anti-ground damage, attack speed, attack, anti-ranger, attack, all work. Shadow Hall gear is very good here. It's cheap to make, and it's cheap to roll on. For this run, I'm doing a 68%. We're just going to take minus 10% attack, minus 50% HP, minus 40% A speed, minus 40% skill haste. We don't touch the boss's HP, plus 50% enemy attack, and then the minus 30% deployment resource gain. Alright, so I'm going to be real with you. This run, it does have a bit of RNG, and there are a few restart points. If something happens, then you'll need to just sit there and go ahead and restart the run. First thing is that if Lyncian gets crit too many times, she has the possibility of dying. So you definitely want to restart if she dies before ulting. If she ults, her job's done. You can let her just disappear. The second part to all of this is Chifu. There is, like I said, some RNG. If she gets crit too many times, then what ends up happening is she ultis first instead of specials, and then into ulti like you're seeing right here. You want this to happen. If that doesn't happen, just go ahead and restart. After that, the rest of the run should be okay. You're still at the mercy of crit RNG, but as you can see here, we're gonna get Sky's ulti into Chifu's, special, into Rebecca's ulti, into which I wish we could get that ulti before that, but it works out because we just blow the boss up. Of course, we're going to see the damage. Rebecca's going to be number 1 with Chifu being number 2. So obviously you're going to want to put your best gear on Rebecca. Gear for this team, Linjian, I'm running full CDR, my best CDR set that I can with as much ground res as possible. Now, I am running the Hummingbird hands. I'd rather honestly have something with ground res, but she seems to be able to survive with this on most runs. So that's why I'm running this instead. I'm told that range res might work, but I'm not actually sure. Now with Chifu, I am running full CDR as much as I can, 76.9 with some ground damage lines. I find that one accessory on her with ground res makes her line up her stuff a little bit easier. She doesn't die as quickly, so it doesn't proc her passives as many times. For Rebecca, we want full attack, anti-ranger, whatever you can to sit there and give her as much anti-ranger as you can, or anti-mech with anti-ground. You want a little skill haste on her, so I'm running this. She's never really in danger here, so she should be fine with that. With Sky, I'm running full attack speed CDR on her with 46.7% skill haste. That seems to work out really well when it comes to sitting there lining up Chifu and her ulti and the Vivian proc. For Yang, I'm just running full CDR, 76%. She helps with getting everybody to get their cooldowns and, putting shields to keep people alive a little longer. Wardens, I actually didn't even bother changing their gear. I probably should have put anti-ranger or attack or something, a little better on them. But yeah, I forgot to do that. So they're all full anti-striker. And then Soyun, I just put full tank on her so she wouldn't die, and she'd get her death break off. But she honestly isn't really in any threat when she gets deployed, so you can actually put full damage gear on her as well. For the ship, New Detroit is just really just a passive powering up strikers that makes this even usable. The latents on them are pretty nice for the counters, but this is mainly a sniper ship, so it does okay. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope this helps you get the minimum score this season. Just in case it needs to be said, you may need to adjust the mods to fit your team and or gear. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're feeling extra special, you can join the Mage Army by clicking the join button. You can catch me on Discord. Link will be in the description. And if you want to help support this channel, you can find a link in the description for that as well. As always, I will see you all next time.